Hello everyone, my name is Michelle. Welcome to my channel. In the last video of machine learning, we studied the evaluation metrics for classification models. For this video, we are going to walk through the other part of the supervised learning, the model evaluation methods for regression models. So the key regression metrics we will cover are mean absolute error, mean squared error, and the root mean squared error. Well, first of all, let's talk about mean absolute error, or MAE for short. So what does MAE really tell us? It measures the average magnitude of errors in a set of predictions. And what's important here is that it does this without considering whether those errors are positive or negative. In other words, MAE takes absolute differences between the predicted value and the actual value for each point, average these absolute differences, and give us a single number that represents how off our predictions were on average. So for example, imagine we're predicting the price of our probably used cars. If our model predicts the price of a car as $15,000, but the actual price is $14,000, the absolute error for the predictions would be like $1,000. Now, let's say our next prediction was $18,500 for a car, actually prices as $20,000, giving us an error of $1,500. So MAE takes all these absolute differences, sum them up, and average them out across all our test data. This means that if your MAE is, say, $1,200, you can interpret it as your model being off by about $1,200 per prediction on average. It's a simple, intuitive way to understand the average error size across your model's predictions, and is useful because it treats all errors with equal importance, whether the prediction was too high or too low. However, things always depend on the real situation. For a model, if it predicts or the predicted result is very close to the actual result, we almost get a good model. On the contrary, if we see the prediction results of a model are far away from the actual result, we will have more concerns. In fact, we would like to pay more attention to the wrong prediction results so that we can continue to train the model and adjust the parameters. Under this scenario, if we still use MAE as a metric to measure the model performance, it seems a little bit naive. So what if I want to be more aggressive handling all of these serious deviations? Or in other words, what if we want to add more penalties for large errors? What we will do? So at this time, we will introduce the next metric called mean squared error, or MSE for short. From this point of view of the calculation formula, when we find the average, we do not simply use the absolute difference between the predicted value and the true value, but first square the differences before calculating the average. Then in this way, we will find that it adds more penalties to the result with large differences. In other words, larger differences will make the final calculation result become larger. At this point, we can measure the effect of the model more accuracy or more efficiency. However, now we think about it. When we solve a problem, do we still have to consider whether the result is meaningful or not? For example, assuming we are currently doing the house price prediction project on Kaggle. In this project, if we use MSE directly, we will get the result of the calculation become the square of the price. For example, if the predicted price of a house is like 110K and the actual price is 100K, the difference is 10K, but after calculation in our MSE formula, the result becomes the square of the $10,000. From the concept of the basic unit, this is no sense for dollar square. Before we step in any further, let's talk about a little bit about what is basic unit. So for example, for an object, its length, width, height, weight, etc. are all its dimensions, and the meter, inch, and pound or kilogram will be the basic unit of each dimensions. So going back to the MSE, the simple square calculation may eventually lead to the problems with the basic unit. For example, as we said just now, through the calculation of the house prices, there will be a square of $10,000 which have no sense. So for those cases that are very sensitive to the dimensions and basic units, we generally use another metric which we call the RMSE. So RMSE is to find the square root about RMSE is to find the square root based on MSE. The full name is root mean square error. It returns MSE's penalty mechanism for large differences, but also restores the basic unit of the value itself. For example, still talk about the example of the house prices prediction. The basic unit will remain the dollar when calculated with RMSE formula. So therefore, although we have MSE, we still need a metric like RMSE. Since RMSE and MSE are very close, so when you study the materials or the course online, you often see that the most common measurement standards are MAE or RMSE, which are the first and the third metrics we're talking about today. So in simple terms, what we expect is that for the measurements of regression metrics, the smaller the calculation results, the better the model can perform. Okay, that is the content for all of this knowledge part. For the last part of these videos, I would like to introduce our YouTube channel membership. As we mentioned earlier, for the machine learning whole series, we are going to share some Q&A pairs on each topic, which will help you to get a deeper understanding of machine learning itself and prepare for the interview questions. For all the Q&A pairs, we're going to list the videos under the YouTube channel membership. If you're interested in these questions, please follow us step by step and join us as our membership. Thank you so much, and if you like my videos, please do give me a thumb up and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much again, and see you in my next videos.